What is up, Patreon crew? We are back here for the post show. Hopefully you guys can see Kat. I'm going to pull up the live chat here. If you are a first-time visitor to Patreon, maybe this is the first post show that you're able to watch, and maybe you're a new Patreon supporter. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Your contribution, no matter what level you are at, basically makes this show happen week after week, helps us create our reviews, our films, helps us to travel to create our films and new features that are coming out this year. We've got a bunch of stuff that we're actually, in fact, I leave on Wednesday to go film some pieces for the Barkley Marathons film that's coming out later this year. So it all helps. It all contributes. But tonight we have Kat Bradley. You have the live chat room there?
I do.
And if this is your first time to get to the live chat room, we don't see the comments on the Patreon post itself until like tomorrow. So click the YouTube link just where the video is embedded there. Click the YouTube link. It'll take you over to the post show where there's a live chat room that you can jump into, and Kim will be able to see everything that's going on right now. I'm actually going to open it up too, just so I can get an idea of what the chat's doing on. But let's just make sure that we can maybe see Kat.
We can see Kat.
All right, guys, let us know. Can you see Kat or hear Kat?
Hi, guys.
I think I want to think that we can. It's gonna be like a 20-second delay.
Okay.
Because the live. Oh, yes, we have. Yes. It works. It totally works.
Now everybody can see that you have your own personal wind machine with you. And I've been envious of this whole
I've been admiring it as well. I'm like, man, she's got a nice cool breeze.
I planned it. I knew I was going to be on camera. There's a fan to my right.
So
there's not.
So Patreon supporters, let the world know that you got to see Kat in the post show. To one, prove that she was on the show, but then to also make everyone jealous, because I think this is kind of special.
At a restaurant?
What is she at a There was one person that was just so mad that I'm guessing it's a he, because that tends to be the internet bullies, of like, I just can't see her face. I need to see her face. Is she at a restaurant? Why is she at a restaurant? I'm like, because Wi-Fi, because free Wi-Fi. I feel like we've done shows from restaurants.
We've also had many guests from restaurants or coffee shops or libraries or sitting in front of restaurants.
We had Jason Schlarb the first time coming to us from a library where there was like no Wi-Fi, and there was a guy playing guitar in the background the entire time. I mean, it happens. And you know what?
Yeah.
It adds to it. I think it adds to the realness. Kat's a human. She needs to eat and drink.
It was either Starbucks or this. And I'm much happier getting cider than I was supporting Starbucks coffee. So.
I agree. And the environment looks much nicer, much more like modern than a Starbucks. Starbucks is cliche. Go get a cider. Yeah, go get a gluten-free beer or something. That's much, much better. Yeah. Okay, let's get to some of these Patreon questions, because I know there was a lot. And actually, I'm going to point out the first one came through email.
Are you giving me one of these?
I'm giving myself one of these. This one came from Aaron Davis, who I know asked this.
I was just going to ask his question.
Perfect.
He's in the chat room.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I didn't want to miss you, Aaron, because he's a new Patreon supporter. So go ahead.
So Aaron Davis in the chat room, first time Patreon supporter here. Welcome, Aaron. Question for Kat. Mile 47 seems to have been a rough one, seeing it on Strava. Did something specifically happen during that time?
Only the biggest climb in the race. Other than that, I felt fabulous. But I was having a blast. I was a little worried about that section. That's so cool that everyone can see it on Strava. But yeah, that climb you gain. It maybe not looks like it because you go like it's like a weird little technical downhill, and then you have to like cross the stream. So it's a slow section. And then it's like switchbacky and super rocky, and then you start going, you like run across this river and then start going straight up. So it's slow, but that's actually right where I passed Stephanie, and I was actually feeling excellent. It is hot though, so maybe that's why it might have been a little slower.
I'd like to see what my time or your time would have been on that. Then you would have looked very speedy.
You would have seen a little ginger puddle halfway up the climb, and it just would have been like, oh, that was Ethan. That was Ethan at some point.
That's great.
Yeah, I die in heat. Let's get to some more questions.
Yeah, question from Jesse Murray in the chat room. Kat, what GPS watch are you wearing? I guess I'm referring to the one that you're actually wearing right now.
Right now, and I wore it at States too. This is the only watch that I've actually ever owned, and it's the Ambit Pete 3 made by Sunto, I believe. and I recommend it. I didn't even have to put it on like a long mode. I died half a mile before the finish, and it's a good thing I ran what I did. But yeah, I love it.
Nice. There's a question about the mountain lion. I was actually curious about this too. Did you? I didn't hear any of these stories until later, but was there a mountain lion spotted on course? Did you have any run-ins with it?
I had no run-ins. I saw a rattlesnake twice. I saw one. They're all over. Like once you get down to the river, you're kind of running along the river for a little while, and they're all around there. And I saw one there, one 2 miles from Rucky Chucky Aid Station, and one right at Rucky Chucky Aid Station. But wow. That's it. I saw no mountain lions. Maybe I was just really focused, and also I wasn't running in the night in the dark for that long, so that's also probably why.
Got it. Go for it, babe.
A question from Scout Phillips in the chat room.
What's up, Scout?
Kat, knowing you've got a great running community in Boulder, do you plan to tap into any of the knowledge to explore new approaches to racing or training, or just stick to your own game?
I'm always exploring new approaches. I never go into into a race with the same mental space or with the same block of training that I did the last. It's all so different, and every race requires a new skill set. So you can't do what you did even if you run Western States 10 times, you can't do the same thing every time, I don't think so. Because you change as a person and as an athlete, so you got to adjust to that. Yeah. True.
Truer words, yeah. Keep going.
And just before we finish the main show, you mentioned Kat's coach and talking about weekly mileages. Did you want to follow up on that?
Yeah, talking a little bit about that, Kat. David posted today just regarding your weekly mileages, and that you never really surpass 70 miles per week, and you just keep it really consistent, the quality of miles over necessarily the quantity. Has that helped you stay injury free? Is it something that you try to balance week after week? Are there other things like teaching? Do you have a regular job that helps kind of force that to happen, or how does it work?
Oh, teaching. So I get up around when I'm not in school. So I had a week and a half for spring break, and I think I got 80 some miles for that. And then training camp, I had a higher week, but I usually am around 75 miles in a week. And that's just because on my feet all day for teaching, I'm picking up, there's at least one child that I have to pick up a day, and just even the little things cleaning up after, cleaning the classroom, and we have a bunch of bikes. I have to pick them up all day. It's a lot. I'm on my feet a lot. And I just, while teaching, I couldn't possibly do any more than what I did. And I think that's when you feel that, you can't try and push that. I actually did during the wintertime. I probably did 10% less than what David would have had me doing. And we talked every day. David's great. I talked to him every single day, and kind of negotiated what my mileage would be based on my day. Because 4 days a week during the school year, I was working after school program too.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I'd have school, and then I'd have to supervise, because the supervisor has to be there, and my teacher's aide couldn't run it by herself, and so it's just really long days. So yeah, low mileage. I'm totally an advocate for low mileage, and this is actually my highest mileage ever too. That's important to note. So
sure. I think it's something that we also hear from some of the oldest athletes in the sport, the people who have been able to maintain their careers for the longest duration of time. You look at guys like Jeff Browning as a perfect example. We both look up to Jeff because he's been cranking out hundreds and ultras for 15 plus years, and he's able to run at the level he's running at consistently because he's doing lower mileage work. Is there a fire alarm going off?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
It's okay. As long as I don't see people rushing out, then everything's okay. But Raul here in the chat room, was it Raul that said that? Or did I just miss it? It's a good comment there. Where did it go? Oh yeah, Randy. Sorry, it was Randy asking about what do your students think about your exploits? Do you talk to your students about being an ultra runner? Do they know that you just won Western States? Do they have any idea what that is?
So school's out, so none of them know. I ran into one of the parents after at like the liquor store. I ran into him a lot, and but one of my students, most that my students know, you have to keep in mind that my oldest student this year was 7, so
Okay.
I teach kindergarten, very young, so they wouldn't understand it. But one of my students, Raven, I shouldn't say names, but Patreon group, but he saw me outside of school one day at the beginning of the school year. So I'd only been his teacher for a couple months, and, you know, they're coming from preschool, which is super nurturing. So like, and I'm, you know, kindergarten's it's a huge leap. So like, he was a little bit of a nervous student. I'm so sorry about the fire alarm.
It's okay.
And he came up to me, and they call me Miss Cat, and he was like, he saw me in shorts. It was after a Green Mountain run, and we were all going out to dinner, a group of friends and I, with the Rocky Mountain runners. And he said, "Miss Cat, why are your legs so tall?" And and that's the extent that any of my students know, and it became a running joke amongst my friend group. Like, I had a British student last year, and so now Ryan, my boyfriend, says, "Mr. Teacher, why are your legs so tall?" Because all of my students are British in his mind.
Yeah, right. Tiny little British kids. I love it. Yeah. Let's get to a couple more live Patreon questions.
Sure. Question from Nathaniel. Kat, how has your state's victory changed your non-racing life, if any? Getting stopped on the streets, additional media commitments?
It's kind of comical that, you know, thank God I'm not working, because it's been a lot of like interviews and stuff, and luckily everyone that's interviewed me, that's you two, has been very easy to talk to and nice, and because I was like, had a lot of anxiety about that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
After I won, I was like, God, am I gonna have to do a lot of these stupid interviews now? I don't want to be on that. But it's actually been super nice and super relaxed, and but yeah, Ryan saw me sign my first autograph the other day, and that was pretty funny. But other than that, I mean, life hasn't changed that much. I mean, summers are great because I'm not teaching, so I have a lot of free time. But,
I mean, I think what's going to be great is that you're going to be an inspiration for countless young women, and just the women's race this year was so awesome leading up to it, just knowing that there was going to be so many high performers there. And I think that's every year it's going to get better. I think like every year the attention's going to be on the women's race because it's so good and it's so fun to follow. Your name is going to be synonymous with victory, and you're going to have so many young women looking up to you. And I think that's rad. I think it's awesome. Yeah.
And women, especially as an educator and someone who's super passionate about being a women's advocate, that like I've gotten a lot of time to reflect on like what I want this new platform to mean, and I really like, more important than racing to me is just be a spokesperson, and like I want to put on some women's events, and like I don't know, that like that's the opportunity that I see in this, and I'm super excited for that. So if anyone has any ideas, let me know, because I have this idea of what I want to do, but no actual substance behind the ideas. So bring it on.
Sweet. That's awesome.
That's awesome. And please feel free to reach out if there's anything that I can do to help with that, or that we can do to help with that as well, because I'm a big fan of that for sure.
Huge advocates of it. We have the conversation probably daily of what we can do and what Kim can do, and Kim's awesome.
Yeah, we'd love to work together. That's great. Yeah.
Let's see if we can do 2 more, and then we'll let Kat go.
Yeah, there's a question from the main show that wasn't asked, from CTAM79. Question for Kat: what section of the race was the toughest part for you?
I would say, so, you know, in terms of intensity and like suffering, I would say before or right after the river, you know, that last 20 miles, like that was hard. But also you're just so fueled on adrenaline and excitement. Like I love racing. That's what I love to do. I love when it gets tough, and I loved that Magda was chasing me, you know, even though at the time I was like, oh, Jesus, just let off, woman. But it was great, you know, it really inspired me, you know, and it's like, I'm so happy about that, and I'm so happy it was her. But as terms of like mental lows, the first I was such a weenie in the first 20 miles, let me tell you. It was just, I felt so sorry for myself, and I'm embarrassed about that, but it was, you know, it's good because it slowed me down. But the snow really was super rough, and I was wearing were great, but not equipped for snow. And like Camille Heron ran into a tree and slipped, and I saw her do that, and then I did it immediately after her, same tree. Got all kinds of scratches, but that was definitely in the first, like, and I never had that where I had to pull myself out of it's not like, because you don't feel bad, you feel sorry for yourself because you're not moving fast because the mud and the snow and the conditions, but everyone's going through that. That was silly of me, but I'm glad I could pull myself out of it.
Awesome. Let's get to one more, babe.
Yeah, question from Kimosabi75. Any thoughts on returning to Western States next year?
That has definitely crossed my mind. At the finish line, I was like, I'm going to do something else next year. But as each day goes on, I'm more and more inclined to return. So I guess everyone will see, including myself. I'm curious on whether I'll come back or not. So
you earned the spot. So you have the choice.
Yeah.
I think that's what's pretty cool is that you worked your ass off to get that coveted spot. And I mean, you have the choice and you have a long time to decide it. And no matter what, you'll have people approach you and be like, well, you have to, you know, because you won, you have to do what you want to do. Obviously, do what we are big advocates of doing what you want to do and following your heart. And any human really. But we're excited to see you if you return, and if you choose to do something else, we'll follow along too because we're fans, big Cat Bradley fans here.
Great. Oh, shucks.
All of you guys watching from Patreon, we appreciate the support. You guys, week after week, surprise us and enlighten us and make us very happy. We love to have you guys back every single week. And make sure you show Kat some love on social media. Thank her for being on the show. And thank you guys for being patient because during the main show, we didn't get video. But hey, Patreon supporters, this is what we do for you. We make video happen just for you guys. That's it for tonight's show. Anything else, babe?
I don't think so.
Kat,
that's it.
We appreciate
so much,
it.
Kat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Travel safe, be safe. We'll talk to you soon. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Of course. Talk to you guys soon.
Okay, go.
Thanks, Kat.
Bye, Kat.
Bye.
We'll let Kat go ahead and go ahead. You can go ahead and leave, Kat. We'll just keep talking to the Patreon supporters. That's awesome. She's great.
Yeah. Just like, I don't know. I think that's like part of the charm of the women's race. There's always so many really good top contenders, even if they haven't been like super prominent, like over the, they haven't been racing for 10 years or whatever.
Totally.
There's always so many solid women racing. So it's always so great to watch the race play out. I'm scratching my nettles.
Kim has nettles, guys. We went on a long run this weekend on one of the local mountains, and we knew we were gonna encounter nettles. We didn't think we'd encounter that many nettles. We got all of them,
and they're still bothering me.
Yeah, you might be allergic to nettles. I was fine that night, but Kim's been scratching pretty bad. Sorry about the main show. I realize now exactly what had happened, and it is out of everyone's control except for Google's. So what happened is we tested with Kat just before the show. She jumped in. Everything worked out fine, but she said she could not see us. So what she did is she's like, what should I do? And I said, hang up and just join us back on the Google Hangouts. So what happens is since she was using a mobile app, the mobile app quits, but it doesn't. It basically says that she's still in the live chat, even though she closed the app down. So when she came to join back, what I think happened is it was holding on to her original login as the video stream. So when she came back in, it was a different person, but with the same camera. And so it thought that the other cat had the camera on, but that cat was ejected from the live. Regardless, it's a technical snafu that Google Hangouts. Now I know. I don't actually know how to solve that problem if we have to do a tech with our guests. So that sucks. But it was only like one or two people that were causing a hissy fit in the main chat room. You guys are always great police when we do these live shows and we have people who maybe have never seen a Ginger Runner live before come in and throw a little fit. You guys are always just fantastic police for calling them out as being like, chill, relax, it's okay. And out of 170 interviews, doing a couple from restaurants, I think that's okay. And Kat was very, very gracious with her time.
Yeah.
So we're very thankful that she was even able to do that.
Rosa in the chat room says coconut oil.
Oh.
I would try that. I feel like coconut oil works for everything.
Coconut oil does work for everything. Give that a shot. You've been trying, not chamomile, but like a cortisone sort of thing. And that helps for like a very brief amount of time. Yeah, right. Well, the noise, you get used to it. It's, as someone who's worked in audio for years, when you have a consistent sort of noise base, you end up tuning at your natural ear frequencies. That's not what I wanted to say. Ear tendencies. The natural ear tendencies are to remove that white noise so you can clearly hear through it. I was riding the volume a little bit on my end, which kind of sucks, but just because whenever she wasn't talking, her microphone would crank up the restaurant noise. This is all technical garbin.
Kimo says, don't know how we would have reacted if there was blue tape on the wall. There is blue tape on the wall.
Yeah, of all the things I was concerned about this week, it was the blue tape. The reality is I should have been concerned.
I think it's funny that you left it this way. I didn't realize that until we were actually on the camera. I was like, wait.
Yeah, I kind of had the idea to like do something like this, but then someone in the chat was also like, oh, it looks like you guys are in a bathroom that's being built. And I was like, it does.
Did somebody say that?
Yeah, it does. It looks like we're in a murder room or something. It really is just the backside of our set.
Murder room.
We live in a murder house. Patreon, I forget what level we did the live stream, but it will be available to all Patreon supporters here, I think, in the next couple of days. But we did a live stream of me playing with power tools.
Yeah, you can talk about that.
Not really playing with them, but building. We were building this set. So we can talk about this now because it will be available for all to view if it is not already. I forget because I can set a post to be viewable to everyone at a certain time. I was building the contraption. So the other side of this is the Ginger Runner set for the reviews and stuff like that. This side is Kim's side. We basically had plywood and stuff on here that I live streamed my application of the plywood, and we were going to do all sorts of stuff for Kim's set for her reviews and stuff on this side. But I also built a frame to mount to this that would allow the whole set to rotate this way. Unfortunately, it fit the room, but it was so big and heavy that it would have required a lot of deconstruction to move it if we ever like moved to a bigger studio. And rotating through this space was like way too tight.
Yeah.
It was way too tight. And it wouldn't have worked. It was too cumbersome. It was a great idea in head. If we had an actual studio space, then maybe that would have been fine. I ended up having to take it all apart today. So deconstructed it, pulled it apart. We're going to save the wood and do some other stuff with the wood, hopefully. But yeah, I'm a little bummed that I had to spend a day building it and then a day tearing it apart.
We're working on it.
We're working on it. But then many of the Patreon supporters are like, hey, well, rather than doing a set that rotates like this, rotate it like that. That was the original idea. So the original idea came from those old chalkboards that swiveled in the middle. Unfortunately, when you have a set that has shelves with stuff on it, that would mean everything on the shelves would have to be permanently attached as you rotate so things didn't fall off. And we didn't want to do that because I wanted to be able to add things and take things away week to week to week. So rotating a set like this doesn't work. I think we found a solution. I think it should be able to hold the weight of the set, but it would be barn sliders from the ceiling. This is the week we're going to try to see if we can get it together.
Rose says, all in a day's work.
Just keeping you guys posted. It is all in the day's work, but it's part of what's kind of cool about the Patreon side of things. You guys get to hear and see behind the scenes. And in this case, that has been the biggest thing in the last couple of weeks is actually trying to build this office space out. The good news is I finally got my desk. I got my desk studio up and running. So now I can actually edit on my big computer. It's way better than our last place, which is, I mean, we actually have space on either side of my desk and my computer speakers. I can't
even touch the wall from here.
I can see the wall, but I can't even touch it. My computer speakers, where I compose the music and do all my video editing, I can actually point them at my ears now. The last house, I had to point them because there just wasn't room to rotate the speakers. So anytime I'd have to listen to an audio mix, I'd have to step back 5 feet to listen in the cone of audio perfection. But it sucked because the walls weren't good and the audio refraction and everything was terrible for mastering. Again, more technical specific stuff, but this new space is fantastic. It's getting creative with how we set it all up. And that's what we're trying to do now. So I think that the set is going to be mounted on rails. So it'll be able to slide out of view, revealing Kim's behind it. So Kim's could be just on the wall. Kim could just build her set on the wall and mine will just hang in front of it, but it will slide all the way out of frame whenever we need to swap sets, which is actually kind of cool. It's kind of, it's cool.
Yeah, Raul says maybe have a hanging set where you can hide the second set behind.
It's exactly, yeah. I didn't think that it existed where I thought the only thing that you could do, like a barn door, mounted to the wall. So the rail mounted to the wall and the hooks or the wheels mounted to the wall. But we found something that mounts to the ceiling. It's just a matter of, can it hold the weight of this set? I don't think we have ability to weigh this. I imagine it's probably weighs 100 pounds.
Your set's heavy.
I took your plywood off the back of it, so it should lighten it up a little bit.
Crispin says, I don't see camping chairs this week. New chairs?
We got new chairs! We got new chairs. These are actually our kitchen chairs, but they'll work just fine for set chairs, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will work fine for it.
My butt's not super sore. What was the other thing? Oh, new merch coming. Well, I think we're going to do a pre-order this month for some new items, which I'm really excited about. We've been talking about them with you guys for a long time, or at least something that we talked about a long time ago. And then because we didn't have any room for storage, we just opted not to. But growlers, and they're called howlers. They're mini versions of growlers.
Yeah.
Growlers are 64 ounce. The howlers are 32 ounce. Maybe some other like glasses, pint glasses and stuff like that. I just got the new catalog of the items and they look so good. I need to get the graphics to them so they can mock some stuff up. We're gonna look at prices to see if it's even affordable, but they will be available to you guys first. And I think what we'll do is a pre-order, depending on your level. Obviously you get free or discounts or whatever, first and foremost. And then we'll do a pre-order with Patreon guys and gals and get you guys the product first. And that'll at least give us an idea of maybe how many we should order for the public. But you guys will be first to know all the details, and also GRVR. So GRVR details will come to you first, and we'll start pitching ideas to you guys of like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And we'll probably do most of that during Patreon Crew Live this month, which is Thursday. So this Thursday will be
on Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm back Wednesday. I'm going to Vancouver and back on Wednesday.
Okay.
So we'll be doing a Patreon Crew Live this Thursday, first Thursday of every month. Last month we moved, so we didn't really do a Patreon Crew Live. We did a couple other little live streams.
Streams and yeah.
Yeah, but we are going to be doing a Patreon Crew Live this Thursday. I think GRVR and the Howlers and Growlers, those are going to be the big things I want to talk to you guys about. Maybe pitch some ideas of design and get your feedback. So get ready for that. I'll be posting the link to that either tonight or tomorrow, something like that.
Tony's just wondering, do we have a time nailed down for Thursday?
No time yet. I think we did an early one once, and people really liked it. No time yet. I got to figure out what Wednesday's schedule is first, because I'm traveling a lot on Wednesday. So if I get back late Wednesday, I don't want it to be 9 a.m. on Thursday Pacific time. It should be closer to like noon or something like that. I will get that time though in the next 48 hours, so I can post that up for you guys to plan your day and get ready.
There's also a lot of people asking about Gus. Gus does love his new home in Seattle.
Oh, people asking about that? Nice.
Yeah, people are just asking, how does Gus like Seattle? How did he handle the move? He's currently like right here.
He's just below us, Newton. I think he loves it. He's getting used to the house, but he's made himself at home.
Yeah. This yard, like the yard that we have, is so much better for him, and the neighborhood. Like in Los Angeles, we were lucky enough to have a little yard, but our little yard, like every time he went outside, we'd have to pick burrs out of his paws and like. Yeah, foxtails, burrs, all sorts of things. Basically, he was in pain anytime we have like a lot of green grass for him to run around in. Yep. We have bunnies here for him to.
He loves it.
Get pestered by.
It's obvious he's comfortable, which is great, and the weather's been great. He likes sun. He likes to lay in the sun. But yeah, he's enjoying it and kind of getting acclimated, which is awesome. Awesome. He's made lots of little friends. He's met my parents' dog, Oscar. They seem to get along better than we thought. We thought it was going to be like, oh, they're going to hate each other. Oh, they love each other.
Randy, Gus did not get into the nettles. That was only us.
Yeah, we were on we don't have nettles in our yard. We were on a mountain in the Issaquah Alps. That's what they call them. And there's a whole half of the mountain that's just nettles. The trail is, we've both done that trail before years ago. And even then it was nettles growing up to your chest, and it was no different. In my mind, I was like, oh, people must wear through that trail all the time. Maybe there's a season that's an off season, like the winter, where people don't go through there, but it's summer. So people have totally gone through there. It seems like no one touches that side of the mountain, which is weird because it's the quietest, most private side of it. Regardless, it was nice. He's home, says Rebecca. Gus? I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he is home.
He likes it.
He likes it.
And it's cooler here, so he can oh, he's looking for critters.
Got it. Yeah, Tony, I'll let you know as soon as possible with the live stream time. I know that a lot of people like to schedule things around the Patreon crew live, like if they have a work meeting, sometimes they can move it up or back, that sort of thing. And there was a question in here earlier regarding what are growlers. Growlers are basically what we're going to be making, because this is something I've been wanting to make since day one of Ginger Runner, because this is something that I'm like, oh, this would be so awesome to have just for ourselves. So if it's something that we want, I imagine it's something that many people would want. A growler is a 64-ounce stainless steel vacuum sealed container that holds cold or hot liquid, in this case beer. It tends to be most frequently used as a beer transportation device. The ones that we are looking at getting are
Hang on.
Birds and squirrels. Squirrel. Get it, guys. The ones that we're looking at getting are vacuum sealed, so they will keep things hot and cold. They also have like either a matte black, a matte blue, a matte white, or a stainless steel finish. I haven't decided which way we want to go, but I promise you, they look awesome. They're super modern, clean, efficient, sustainable company. Like everything they do, I believe a portion of the proceeds go to charity and water distribution to third world countries. I'll have to look at the charity side of things because I think that's a huge advantage to going with this company. There's just lots of really great things, and they look awesome. But then they make a 64-ounce version, which is big. This is, how many ounces is this? That doesn't help. It says a pint. Oh, no. 17.25 fluid ounces, I think, is if I do that math right, because a pint is 16. So imagine, I think it's 4 or 5 of these that you can fit usually into a growler. That math might be wrong. Don't hold me to it. Hi, buddy. So the growlers are big. Then they have a howler, which is a half-size version. So another reason why I really want something that's vacuum sealed is because rather than glass, during my 100-miler, what would have been great is hot broth. And so for people who are doing races in hot weather, you can keep ice cold liquids in there for your runner. People doing cold weather ultra marathons, hot soup, hot broth, hot chowder. Can you imagine running an ultra with chowder?
No, that actually made me like.
I was just saying if you're listening. But both a 32-ounce and a 64-ounce version would be great. And they're great for camping. They're super durable. I could talk and talk and talk, but I'll wait for Patreon Crew Live to talk more about them.
Kimo says, first time I've seen Gus look awake. Yeah, he's riled up right now because there's either a bunny or a squirrel or a bird.
There were lots of birds going on in the yard during the show, and I was like, I should have closed those curtains. That's a bad mistake.
He's
typical.
Very like,
All right, we're going to wrap this up with you guys. We'll see you Thursday if you are at $10 or above. Otherwise, we'll see you next Monday. Lots coming this month. Exciting month. Lots to share. We got a run to go do, so we're going to go do some mileage tonight. And Gus has a squirrel to go chase. see if I don't think I'll catch him. The squirrel is a gymnast.
It is.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Very, very much. Bottom of our hearts. Appreciate all the support. We'll see you guys next week, if not sooner. Bye.